The Oklahoma City Thunder have won an NBA championship. Now, this has not happened for 17 years. Ever since they became the Oklahoma City Thunder and not the Seattle Supersonics, this has never happened. So, this is a very big night. And y'all told me that if Scott Foster is officiating, the Thunder are guaranteed to win. Well, Scott Foster was not officiating this game. Y'all told me that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was a free throw merchant and he's going to make a lot of free throws and Scott Foster gives him all those calls. Well, tonight wasn't one of those nights. Tonight had first time officiators for Game 7 in the NBA Finals. And guess what? Shai shot about 7 or more free throws this game. And on top of that, he put up 12 assists. He was still involved. He was still part of the game. And this is the thing with the Thunder. My biggest knock on them the whole time was that they play too nonchalant. They play like they know they're supposed to win. They play like they've already proved themselves when they are not that. They have been the furthest thing from that. And now I see why. When you're poised, when you're composed, when you hold yourself together throughout everything, this is exactly how things turn out for you. As much as the rest of the world wants you to show emotions and wants you to be engaged in games and all this other stuff that everybody loves, if you play the right way and block out the noise from everybody else, you're going to always end up in this position, the winning position, a championship team. And it all starts with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is exactly how he has been playing since he got to the league. You don't hear him in anything, any news. And that's exactly what this team mirrors. It mirrors the leader, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the finals MVP, the conference finals MVP, the regular season MVP, the leading scorer of the NBA this year, the scoring title holder. There hasn't been that many players that have done that. All of those in 1 year, 1 season. And this is exactly why he fired his agent before re-signing. Because what are you going to negotiate now? Shai could walk into that office and get whatever contract he wants. He could walk in there and probably tell them, look, I know I'm due for $390 million, but I want $500 million. And they'll probably give it to him. They'll probably have to give him $390 up front and $110 under the table, behind the scenes. They're probably going to have to buy him a jet, a yacht. Something's going to have to give, bro. This team heavily relies on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He might not be Jokic, but the way that they play when he's on is different from when he's missing shots and he needs 30 shots for 30 points. And what did I always say throughout this whole series? The biggest part was going to be Chet Holmgren, no matter how you want to flip it. And tonight, when they needed him the most, he came out there, 18 points. Defense was there today. You felt Chet Holmgren's presence today. All throughout the final series, there were games where you felt his presence and games where it just felt like, why is this man on the court? His bad games are terrible. But tonight was the night. Tonight was the night that he showed why he's so important for this team. And throughout the whole season, I kept having questions about this team. And you know what the Thunder fans told me? They told me, yo, listen, when we get Chet Holmgren back, we're going to be a championship team. I said, I bet I'm going to wait. Let's see what Chet Holmgren gives. And for the most part, he was excellent. The only time I really questioned him is the Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6. These 3 games, I thought Chet Holmgren played terrible. I understand if you're off offensively, but defensively, you can never be off. Like a quarter, fine, but a whole game, no. But this game, you felt his presence all throughout the game. Isaiah Hartenstein, his presence was felt. Alex Caruso, His presence was felt. He played to the end. And even though he picked up a foul with like a minute and a half left, I didn't care. Because my biggest problem was teams giving up leads. Especially the Thunder. If you don't remember game 1, they gave up a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter. Tonight, they played to the end. This is exactly who the Thunder was supposed to be. And if they played like this all throughout the series, they would have won this in 5 or 6. And mind you, this wasn't even a good game for them. Let's really talk about it. Haliburton went down in the first 7 minutes. He played the first 7 minutes that went down. He injured his Achilles. They didn't really specify if it was a tear or not, which is the thing that's kind of like I have questions for, because how do you injure your Achilles without tearing it? Like, what happened? But he went down, and another thing that helped the Thunder was TJ McConnell ended the third quarter so well. I don't know what happened in the fourth. Where was he? Why was he not as aggressive in the fourth quarter as he was in the third? And Pascal Siakam, for somebody who said, I understand that this team needs me tonight. You come out here and put up 16 points and 4 rebounds? Are you kidding me? I honestly thought this whole time that the Pacers never deserved to be in the NBA Finals. I thought they were not a championship team. And that they just knew how to manipulate parts of the game to go on runs whenever it mattered. And other teams just couldn't keep up with the pace. And overall, they forced teams to play their game. And that's exactly what they did to the Thunder too. Although I still thought the Thunder, even going into this series, everybody had the Thunder winning this. I had the Thunder winning this because I thought the Thunder going to come out here and they're going to play very hard, even harder than they played in the first series, the second round, and the Western Conference Finals. But some games, Exhibit A, Game 6, they did not play with that same level of aggression and the heart and the hustle that I expected them to play with. That level of toughness was not there. It was very up and down. And watching this game, Game 7, I realized it's probably because they have never been here. So body-wise, conditioning-wise, it's just their body was not in the right condition for the NBA Finals. Luckily for them, they were going up against the Pacers, and Haliburton got injured, and things just went their way. But if they played against a different team that was healthy with no injuries, even if they play against the Pacers without Haliburton going down, this could have been way different. They would have left with a heartbreak. They would have had a heartbreak of a lifetime. But instead, the Pacers got that. And with the Pacers, I'm going to say this. Moving forward, I understand the team is built around Tyrese Haliburton. But the bench, you need to find a way to build that around TJ McConnell. And have the bench play different than the starters. Have the bench play off TJ and the starters play off Haliburton. And whenever they're on the court, figure out whose way you're going to play. Because TJ is a problem. They had no answer for him this whole series. There was no answer for TJ. He got whatever he wanted, which is why I'm so mad that he ended off the third quarter so well, and then in the fourth quarter he was non-existent. I was like, what? Where is he? Benedict Mathurin woke up in the fourth quarter, but it was too late. And that's another thing too. The first half was scary for me because the Thunder was up by 1 and they ended the half down by 1. Meanwhile, they forced more turnovers than they actually turned over the ball. Haliburton went down, and their threes weren't falling. And I was like, yo, what is happening? Why are you down by 1 to end the half when all the things are going your way? And then they come out in the third quarter, and something just clicked where they put up 34 points. And this was their highest scoring quarter. And defensively, they held the Pacers under 30 points in every quarter. And that's exactly what you needed to win this game. Defense. J-Dub didn't have his best game. There was times where he even hesitated to shoot. But overall, they won, so nobody will ever remember that. And he gave you 20 points. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Finals MVP, to come out here and give you 29 points and 12 assists. Everybody always talks about him chucking up shots, him being a free throw merchant, him sometimes needing 30 shots for 30 points, him taking 25 shots a game to average 32. Everybody always talks about him, and everybody overlooks a lot of things that he does. But when it mattered the most, we've seen it against the Nuggets, and now we see it again. He knows how to create shots for his teammates, how to pass, how to play make. He knows when to get off the ball. I mean, he plays so well that there are nights where he comes and gives you 30 points, but then J-Dub will also put up 25, 30, 40 points as well. And for two co-stars to coexist like that and perform at that level, it just shows you how unselfish this team is. And even in their celebration at the end, where they were presented with the Larry O'Brien and the Bill Russell Finals MVP, everything was about the team. All the jokes they were making, they were laughing together, they cried together. You've seen everything that they were acting like throughout the whole season is exactly what we've seen at the end. Even the coach's response. Like, everything was so good. And just to think that 2 years ago, this team won like 22 or 24 games. And now, with their own stars, their own homegrown stars that they drafted Chet Holmgren, they drafted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they drafted and developed J-Dub. They won a championship. And on top of all that, this is only the third year for J-Dub. This is like the second or third year for Chet Holmgren. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is only 26. There's a lot of time left. A lot of time left. And it's only a matter of time to see if they could win one more. But one thing for sure, they put their names in history. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander opened up the door for himself to be the next face of the league. If he can come out here and play like this all the time, if he can win another championship within the next 3 years, he might be the next face of the league. People might give it to him. We'll see how this turns out. But I'm honestly happy and proud for the Thunder that they won a championship. And most importantly, I'm happy and proud that I could go to sleep tonight knowing that the team that took out the Knicks and feeling that depression and that sadness that my city felt didn't win a championship, I could be nothing more than excited and nothing less than happy. I couldn't believe it. I was so mad, and I was such an Indiana Pacers hater that I convinced myself to do reverse psychology and accepted the fact that the Pacers were going to win. If you watch my videos, I started off predicting the finals and saying that the Thunder are winning this. And throughout the series, I kept changing my mind and said that the Pacers are going to win this. Why? Simply because I convinced myself, I just accepted it. I accepted that the Pacers were going to win, but in the back of my mind, I hoped that the Thunder pulled this out, and they did. And I was so happy for J-Dub and Shai to win one together at a very young age, a young career, and especially for their duo. And with that being said, I'm about to go to sleep. It's like 12:30 midnight right now. I'm tired. As I can tell, I'm in my pajamas. I'm trying to go to sleep. Great game. Season is over. NBA is done. But subscribe for more. I'm going to find a way to make NBA basketball content. I might even go to WNBA. But like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Real Talk with E. Safe.